Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of your Frederish podcast. I'm Gary and here I am one more time with you guys. So, I don't know what you're waiting for. I am not. I've already gone for my cup of coffee, my glass of water, and as you know, whatever it takes us to relax. Let's just go for it. Today we have a beautiful and sunny Friday ahead of us, but of course it's just cool and cold as it can be in June. So this is the first episode of the month. So be welcome, be super duper hyper welcome to this episode, and just sit down, relax, and without further ado, let's jump into today's topic, which is fiction. Okay, I know I've spoken many times before in this podcast about books, about movies, about what else involving fiction, about stories in general, even urban legends. If you stop to think, our stories, our fiction, hopefully, right? But I never really addressed directly to the source of it, and I never, took the opportunity, the time here to talk to you guys and expose my opinion about it, and more specifically why I consider it to be something so much important, and something that everyone should have the habit of consuming. I'm gonna use this verb a lot because I'm not only speaking of books. That is not only talking about reading or listening in case of a podcast or movie. I'm talking in general, fiction in general, and how this is so important to us, so important to the modern world, so important to the formation of people, to the why not the education of people, and many other benefits that my good pal ChatGPT has just so gladly given me to read and talk to you guys about it. So let us not wait anymore. Let's not wait any longer. Let's just embark on the ship and go. Let's go. They say fiction imitates real life and vice versa. I don't know who said that, if it's even a quote, but I can swear I heard something similar before, and I can help but agree completely with this statement. Not only agreeing to that, but I can help but think every day when let me just bring some context here. I am constantly reading stories, okay? Frequently I watch stories in movies, in this example. And a little bit more often I hear stories, I listen to people telling stories in podcasts, in some YouTube channel or any online platform like that. And I must tell you, if it's probably quite evident that I am passionate about stories, okay? About fictional stories. I mean, stories in general are awesome, right? But fictional stories are something else, okay? I'm not gonna try to make a comparison here between real thing and fictional thing. Both have their values. But for me, the truth of the matter is that they are kind of like twin brothers, okay? Twin siblings that are not identical, okay? But they're siblings, okay? In case you don't know, that word sibling is the neutral word for brothers and sisters, okay? When I say siblings, I'm not pointing gender. I'm just saying, either can be a boy or a girl, or two boys or two girls, all right? That's what the word sibling is worth for. We have this word neutral in Portuguese. When we say irmãos, it's neutral, right? But when we say brothers in English, it's not neutral. It means boys, okay? All right, so write it down. It's an important vocabulary source. So yeah, guys, you will excuse my voice today. I'm a little bit under the weather, but that won't stop us from sharing our experiences here, from sharing my thoughts with you guys here today. So yeah, I was saying that fiction is born from real stories. Okay, again, someone said, and I can help but completely agree with him, that nothing that happens in the fictional story, never happened. Not it's not possible for something you can find in a fictional story to never have ever happen in the real world. Okay, of course there is some exaggeration in this statement, because yeah, in fiction nothing is impossible. Literally does not exist in fiction, especially science fiction. But yeah, but when it comes to the human social relations, I tend to believe that this is right. This is so accurate. Okay, because even in like the most exaggerated stories, the core is always, let me put it this way, human. Okay, there's always a source. There's always a hub of characters fighting each other, or fighting themselves, so to say, okay, or fighting themselves and the others, but in a way that you can totally relate it. You can totally relate in your house, okay, in your day-to-day routine, in your normality. Let me use this word. And why is that so? Let me just be a little technical, for lack of a better word here, because it's something in my interest. I like writing, not only reading but also writing, and I plan to write books in the future. So I kind of get, I've been educating myself in this area. So the basic idea here is that characters must have a human side, so you can connect with them. So the reader, you and I, can get to connect with them. Otherwise, the characters get pointless, unless for like villains or for not significant characters. All right. So this is why. Okay. So stories, in order to be successful, in order to be good, must have human elements. Must have. Let me be more precise here. They must have someone stabbing another. One another in the backs. That means cheating. They're betraying. There must be passionate things like love, like sex, like war, anger. There must these things. You guys got the point. And this is one of the reasons. I could just make a whole episode about it, but it would be boring. You guys wouldn't be here for me for more than two minutes. You wouldn't be here after the introduction. So yeah, but this is a considerable part of the reason why I say that fiction and reality are non-identical twin siblings. Okay. Having said that, I move to the next question that you must be wondering, that you must be asking yourself right now at this moment, after listening to this so far, to my introduction here, is how can fiction be something so important? Maybe you're saying, okay, I agree with you that this is cool, this is nice, it's something that we should encourage people doing, reading books, being up to reading fictional stories. So this is the second approach I have. The second, it's a very fair question. I asked myself that, and I want to develop it a little bit more right now. One important thing to say is that not all readers, are fiction readers. All right, we don't stop to think about it, but not all readers enjoy reading fiction. Most of them. Yet not all of them. So it's a shame on some aspect. All right. But But of course, as I said in the books episode, although it was more turned into fictional stories, of course I said, and I have to say it again, reading, no matter what, is so important for our brain, so important. And I'm far from the one who would say like you would only read fiction. There is this too. Yeah, there are people that only read fiction. They don't read any technical book, so to say. Okay, and that's fine. Everyone, as I always say. But my point here is that let us not think, oh, because I have a friend or I know someone who's a big reader. Sometimes she's not a big fan, or even not a fan at all of fiction in general, and by fiction I open all the possibilities here from lousy novels like Reader's Digest. Please forgive me, I read a couple of them. I enjoyed them back in the days, but they're stories, simple stories, for just because Americans enjoy reading so much, and and congrats to them about it. But I'm just bringing an example. Feel free to disagree. Maybe the novel, the stories, the short stories. Maybe I said Reader's Digest novel. No, novels. No, there's no novels. There are stories. Okay, they're short stories. But again, let's use like lousy, not so technically developed, not so good stories, like involving trivial things, day-to-day trivialities. From that to say one of my favorite fictional stories, A Song of Ice and Fire, aka Game of Thrones. From this to that, okay? When I say fiction, I mean it all, okay? From police novels to girlish romantic stories, yeah, for lack of a better definition, let's use this one. This all comprehends what I mean by fiction, okay? So now let me just get straight to the point of fiction, why I think it is so important. Well, as I always do, I like to bring my personal experience with that. Well, while growing up, for me, reading is not something I would do about fiction, okay? I didn't read books until I didn't get the habit of reading books until I was like 11 or 12, okay? But before that, I would read comics, okay? Which is, again, totally fit to the category I'm talking about here, the fictional story, okay? Comics, if you love reading comics, yeah, we're together in this journey. Although these days I haven't been reading comics, but it's something that deep down in my heart is still there. So thumbs up. There we go. But anyways, I would read comics and would love doing that. I didn't know that back in the days, but now I know that I am absolutely passionate about characters, about plot. Okay, the plot is the happenings of a story. Okay, this is called a plot in Portuguese, trama. Okay, I'm absolutely fascinated about these things. As I said, it's one of my purposes in life is to write good fictional stories, okay? And I had that ever since I came to this world, basically. So I started that. Then of course movies, right? I am 35. We grow up in this. We're from a generation growing up with TV all the time, But I don't even know if there's a point by saying that, but let me say I kind of envy people growing up, readers of books, fictional stories specifically, ever since they're kids. Okay, I think that because when we're kids, we have like lots of extra time that we don't know very well how to fill in our schedule. Okay, and we end up doing, playing and stuff, which is healthy. But I totally look back and go like, hey, I could totally use these free slots of my childhood with, classics. Say H.P. Lovecraft, say Lord of the Rings, okay, Tolkien, the author, say H.G. Wells, and the list goes on. Jules Verne's, quote unquote simple stories, okay, but yet powerful and marvelous ones that would have gotten into, and I wouldn't have to be going after these guys this day, like I would have my reading baggage bigger. It's a kind of a personal complaint. I don't even know if it makes any sense. But my point here is I've always had that thing with fiction, and I'm not saying that everyone who likes reading fiction has the same approach. Of course not. People are different. I'm different than you. You're different than me. But my point here is I've always had it, and then for me it came from comics and movies, okay, not from books, okay. So if you have kids, this is one thing I want to introduce my kids in. That is reading fictional stories from books, through books, okay? Nothing against comics, nothing against movies, but I really want them to grow up, doing that, which I didn't, by the way, okay? For the lack of inspiration in my family, I shared that before, but this is the whole point I want to make in this part. All right, so let's dig into what ChatGPT has brought to me when I ask for the benefits of consuming fiction. Okay, I'm gonna just repeat that I say consuming because it's not only about reading; it's fiction in general. Why is it so important? Okay, let me just bring my personal approach and let's see what Chatty. Yeah, that's my the nickname I gave ChatGPT. Let's see what Chatty. He's been around for so long, guys. It's fair enough for us to treat him, as a homeboy or a girl. I don't know ChatGPT's gender, but that's it. For me, it's the whole thing that sets apart people who have the habit of consuming fiction versus those who don't. That, in my opinion, these ones are socially more prepared than those. That is, those who read fiction are socially more prepared than those who don't, okay? And the chances of succeeding in life increase the more fiction you consume, in my opinion, okay? I'm not bringing any data, any studies, or anything like that. And the simple reason to that is that fiction, going deeply straight to the point here, guys, fiction has a powerful result, a powerful way to show you the world before the world shows itself to you. Let me just translate that. In fiction, you start understanding how people can get to hurt you, how people can get to metaphorically stab you in the back, right? But through fiction, you start approaching conspiracies, without being part of a conspiracy. Okay, through fiction, you can witness a crime without, from a safe position, from a completely safe position. All right, and yet one may say, well, but these are fictional conspiracies, fictional crimes, fictional attacks. Yes, but remember what I said before, that they're always based on something that happens somewhere with someone. Okay, maybe not exactly that way, but the essence was that. Bingo, that's it. Okay, so in my case, ever since I got back to it, because just sharing one more bit of my history here, I grew up enjoying fiction, but it took me too late to really understand why I did love it so much, and to go like, hey, I need to have it around me against all odds. If I don't have the time, I will make the time to read a little bit of a fictional story. I will pay more attention to the characters. It took really, really long time. It just came when I was like 25 or something. So yeah, so this is and ever since that happened, my life has never been the same. I must say I completely changed for the best. Okay, I never screwed up with people again, which I would before, like saying things, that would offend people, saying things that would get me into trouble, or doing things that would get me into trouble. I totally stopped that because my brain started reacting accordingly to the environment, because it is more or less, let me try to explain that. Is like, I have this feeling, maybe it's a personal understanding, but that's it. I have the feeling that when you consume lots of fictional stories, and the more the better, it's like doing things and Control Zing them, basically, having this possibility. Like when I talk to someone, I mean, we learn to decipher people. It's crazy to say that, and we don't even have much time to discuss it. But the whole thing are people. The whole thing are those surrounding you directly or indirectly in your life. No matter what you do, no matter where you live, that's the power of fiction. I hope I have explained that well. So let's see what ChatGPT has got for us. Okay, first benefit, enhanced empathy. Fictional stories allow readers to experience different perspectives and emotions, fostering empathy by helping them understand and connect with the feelings of others. That's exactly what I just said before. Totally agree. Second, improved imagination and creativity. Engaging with fictional worlds stimulates the imagination, encouraging creative thinking and problem-solving skills. Yeah, bingo. So true. 3. Stress relief and relaxation. Reading or watching fictional stories provides an escape from reality, offering a way to relax and reduce stress. As I always say, it's just great, it's amazing, plus it's fun. And it's also it's not so expensive, so there's no salary barrier excuse here not to do it. 4. Better cognitive function. Fictional stories can improve brain function, enhancing vocabulary, comprehension, and critical thinking skills. Amazing. 5. Cultural awareness and understanding. Fiction often explores the diverse cultures, traditions, and social issues, broadening readers' understanding and appreciation of different cultures and perspectives. Well, this is one of my favorite things, like you manage to live lots of lives inside one. Let me just bring a recommendation of a movie. Oh my gosh, I have to stop because I don't remember the original title. In Portuguese, they translated like A Matter of Time, okay? But I'm positive that this is not the original title. Let me just pause for a second. Right, the movie is called About Time, okay? I saw it on Netflix recently. It's a simple movie, not a oh my god, amazing. But it's a cool movie to watch and relax. But I just would recommend it. Although it's a cool movie, I would rate it in my rating system like 8, okay? But I want to recommend it because well, this is not a spoiler, okay? It comes at the very beginning of the movie, but the males from this family, okay, have the ability to time travel, okay, but only come back to moments in their lives and relive them, okay. By them, they could or can potentially change the future, but that's it, okay? It's not a travel machine or something like that, a time travel machine, but they can do that basically. Making a long story short, And the main character's father, with disability, of course, he's being a male of his family. He said that he used that to read as many books as he could. So he would like just go back and relive the same day, but but reading as many books. So he read. He doesn't point numbers or anything like that, but the movie leads us to understand that he read like millions of books because of this fictional and amazing time travel ability. So that's why I recommend it when we're talking about fiction. Okay, so let's read item number 4, benefit number 6. Emotional catharsis. Fictional narratives can provide an emotional outlet, allowing readers to process their own feelings and experiences through the character's journey. 7. Moral and ethical development. Many fictional stories explore complex moral dilemmas and ethical questions, helping readers to reflect on their own values and beliefs. Guys, for me, beliefs. For me, this is the sine qua non, meaning without it, no. All right, for a good story. Okay, this is the threshold of good stories and lousy stories. Anyways, maybe I'll talk more about it in the future. Number 8, enhanced social skills. Discussing fictional stories with others can improve social interaction skills, including communication, empathy, and understanding of social dynamics. Completely agree with that. Number 9, personal growth and self-discovery. Characters' journeys and personal transformations can inspire readers to reflect on their own lives, fostering personal growth and self-discovery. Totally true. 10. Educational value. Fiction can be a powerful tool for presenting historical events, scientific concepts, and philosophical ideas in an engaging and memorable way. Guys, absolutely nothing against fantastic fiction, but I really appreciate when it is as much connected to the real world as possible. Even as a fiction, okay? I really like when there's a set of rules, okay? Especially when these rules are similar to the world we live in, although magic exists. One good example of that is, Lord of the Rings, and of course, the marvelous George R.R. Martin, Song of Ice and Fire. 11 and last, entertainment and joy. Above all, fiction stories provide entertainment, bringing joy, excitement, and a sense of adventure into our lives. Well, there certainly could be more, but that's it. And I think it totally cuts it for today's episode. I wish I could speak more. There's always more to talk about when it comes to such an amazing topic. But that's it for today. I really thank you and appreciate your company. See you next week in the next episode. Bye.